In the first chapter, I choose integrating instruction and assessment. So in this change, I will explain two subtopics. First is derivatives of teaching and the second is types of assessment. As we know, assessment is the systematic basis for making inferences about the learning and development of students. Assessment is a way of supporting learning. It helps teachers, learners, parents, and others to understand the depth and breadth of learning undertaken so that progress and next steps can be discussed and planned. From this definition, assessment for students is one of the important aspects in teaching. When teachers design assessment, teachers must pay attention to all factors that can affect students' development, such as socio-emotional development, physical development, family background, previous studies, and many things. This way can bring us to realize the realities of teaching, so the teacher can design assessment that accurately reflects students' understanding and knowledge while providing constructive feedback. However, the realities of teaching can be challenging. The first, there are various assessment methods such as quiz, presentation, essay, and so on. The teacher needs to carefully select the appropriate assessment methods to align with the learning objectives and standards. The second, students have different learning styles, so teacher needs to consider the individual differences in their students while giving assessment to them. The third, the validity of assessment result. Teacher needs to ensure that they are grading consistently and fairly across all students. For example, to find out students' initial knowledge, we must give them a pre-test so that we can design lesson plans that we can apply in class and according to the conditions of students. Of course, a teacher must give different treatment to students with conditions who already have good initial knowledge and for students who don't have. Now, grouping students based on learning styles, learning readiness, and others is the basic thing that must be done before designing learning models and assessment models. So, we can teach according to the needs of students. This method is also the recommended method in 21st century learning, especially in the implementation of Curriculum Merdeka in Indonesia. Now, we move to the types of assessment. The first is pre-assessment. This assessment is used before teacher conducting class. What we can do in this part are review what was learned the previous day, prepare a rough agenda for the day, greet students before class started, check the readiness of students, and give them pre-test. The second assessment is formative. This assessment is used during the class. Teacher can give quiz, group working, some activities such as role play, game, and so on. While students do these activities, the teacher must observe or monitor the students. The teacher can give comment to improve students' development, remind students to do their tasks, notice students who has some difficulty answering, and notice students who didn't do their tasks with the correct instruction. The function of this assessment is first, assessment for learning, where helps teachers gain insight into what students understand in order to plan and guide instruction, and provide helpful feedback to the students. The second role of this assessment is assessment as learning, where students develop an awareness of how they learn and use the awareness to adjust and advance their learning, taking an increased responsibility for their learning. The last assessment is summative. Summative assessment provides cumulative snapshots to evaluate and report on student learning. Summative data can help eliminate areas of strengths and gaps in curriculum and instruction, and especially for student subgroups. Reporting summative results provides information to families and the general public. The example of summative assessment is final test, mid-test, and national test. As a conclusion, assessment is a vital part of teaching and learning. It allows teachers to evaluate and monitor students' progress, identify gaps in learning, provide constructive feedback, and adapt their teaching approach to suit the students' needs. Moreover, assessment also enables students to self-evaluate and provide them with a sense of accomplishment and motivation. However, to overcome the challenges, teachers need to continually reflect on their assessment practices, seek professional development opportunities, and collaborate with their colleagues to improve their assessment strategies.